This is the Tecno Spark 20, an upgrade to the Tecno Spark 10 that was released earlier this year, and it has some tiny bits of upgrade like a dual speaker that I love. The processor has also been upgraded from the MediaTek Helio G37 to the MediaTek Helio G85, which is more efficient in handling performance. The selfie camera on the Spark 20 is also 32MP, which is an upgrade when compared to the 8MP we had on the Spark 10. The phone is also striking a balance in the market, giving us more options because it has a similar price and specs with the Redmi 13C. I am currently working on a full comparison video between the Tecno Spark 20 and Redmi 13C, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that video. The big question, however, is should you buy the Tecno Spark 20? This video is going to guide you on everything you need to know about the Tecno Spark 20. Inside the Tecno Spark 20 box, you're going to get the phone, a silicone TPU case, a SIM ejector tool, a USB-C cable, a charger, and a warranty card. You're also going to get an MTN voucher that can be used to redeem 1 gig data. I picked mine for around 125,000 naira because at the time of making this video, Tecno haven't officially announced the price of the device in Nigeria. I later learned from a reliable source that the price of the device is not going to go above 105,000 naira for the base model with 4 gig RAM and 128 gig storage space. I will update the phone's price in the comments and description of this video as soon as I'm certain. Tecno has stuck with this design on their budget phones for a while now, and the design is moving closer and closer to resembling the iPhone. The reason for this is simple. This is a phone primarily made for young people. When you compare this to the Tecno Spark 10, you are going to notice that there is a slight difference. There are 3 circled rings around the camera island, but the phone only has 2 cameras. The third ring is for the quad flashlights. The camera island is glossy, and I imagine dust settling on that part of the phone. The phone has a matte plastic finish at the back, and the cyber white color that I currently have hides fingerprint stains, and to me is the best color option out there. I love how it shines depending on how light reflects on it, and the frames are also made of plastic. There is a side mounted fingerprint scanner that is reasonably fast, and just above it you are going to find the volume rockers. While there isn't an official IP rating against water on the phone, you get a rubber ring around the SIM ejector tool by the left side, which means it can survive water to some extent. You shouldn't officially dip the phone in water though. The phone has 2 speakers, one at the bottom and a second one at the top, and I've been impressed by how it sounds generally. It's not really bass heavy, but you just know it's better when you even compare it with other phones around its price. It charges through a USB-C port, and there is a headphone port as well at the bottom. You also get an additional microphone for calls. There is a Tecno branding at the back of the phone, and the phone is generally comfortable to hold in the hand. The phone has a good build quality, and there is no flexing or creaking on any part of the phone. As far as I'm concerned, the build quality of the Tecno Spark 20 is okay. The Tecno Spark 20 has a 6.6-inch IPS LCD display with a 90Hz refresh rate and 720p resolution. While the display is decent for the price, I feel having a 1080p resolution would have instantly placed it above the competition. There is a punch hole cutout on the display, and you can't help but notice the thick bezels around the display. The chin at the bottom is the most noticeable bezel, and most of the devices within this price category normally have noticeable bezels all round. The 90Hz refresh rate on the display makes scrolling better, and I feel the presence of the refresh rate more on the Tecno Spark 20 rather than the Tecno Pop 8 that I reviewed earlier. You can set the phone to auto refresh rate, and it's going to automatically switch between 60Hz or 90Hz depending on the activity on the display, or you can just set it to standard 60Hz if that is what you prefer. Personally, I have mine set to 90Hz refresh rate all the time. You can also change the color of the display in the settings like we have on AMOLED phones. I set mine to cool color, which I find better than the warm color or the default color the Tecno Spark 20 comes with. The display can get up to 500 nits of peak brightness, but you have to set it to auto brightness to hit that level, and it mostly don't even get to that number unless you are outdoors and it's extremely sunny. You can stream some YouTube videos at 2K, and the colors are vivid and sharp. The display is responsive to touch, and the size of the display makes it even more enjoyable for gaming. Overall, the display is impressive and it fits the phone, especially when you consider the asking price of the Tecno Spark 20. The phone runs on Android 13, and HiOS version 13.5 is the user interface. The phone feels smooth, and I love how snappy everything on the display looks. There are also some level of customizations that you can do in the settings of the phone. My unit has 4 gigs RAM, but thanks to memory fusion, it can be expanded to 8 gig using some storage space on the phone. The storage space on my model here is 128 gig, but there is a model out there that has 256 gigs with 8 gigs RAM. Performance is going to be better on that model. You get the dynamic port on the Tecno Spark 20, and it mimics the dynamic island found on the iPhone 14 and 15. While you can use the dynamic island on the iPhones to control some apps, the function is limited on the Tecno Spark 20. You can only use it to pick calls, and it's going to show some animations when there is a notification or you are charging the phone. The settings have many hidden software features and you're going to have fun exploring them. As expected, the phone comes with some pre-installed apps. Some of them can be removed and some can't be removed. You also get some essential Google apps that are really useful on the Tecno Spark 20. My feeling of the software is that at this point, HiOS needs a revamp, and I can't wait to see what Android 14 is going to bring to Tecno smartphones. It is not available on the Tecno Spark 20, and I am not certain if the phone is going to get an upgrade to Android 14. The MediaTek Helio G85 is quite decent in terms of performance, even though it's an old chipset. Most of the competing phones around the same price category are also powered by the MediaTek Helio G85. There isn't any noticeable lag while using the phone, and apps open up swiftly. It will handle everyday tasks like a champ. I mean, making calls, texting people, and consuming content on Instagram, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Multitasking is also decent. The phone can handle multiple apps running in the background at a time, minus heavy games though. You need to know that. If you compare it with the Tecno Spark 10, then you are going to see that there is definitely an upgrade, since it was powered by the MediaTek Helio G37, which isn't on the same level with the MediaTek Helio G85. The phone is not super fast, but it's going to handle basic tasks like a champ. In terms of performance, I feel it's very okay, and we can't really request for more when we take account of how much you are paying to get this phone. The Tecno Spark 20 has a 50 megapixel main camera, and there is a second depth lens at the back of the phone. We have a 32 megapixel selfie camera, which is another upgrade coming from the predecessor. There is a 50 megapixel mode in the camera app, and if you select it, you are going to get more details in every shot. The size of the images when you select the 50 MP option in the camera settings are quite heavy, and they are around 15 megabytes. Here is a side-by-side picture between the 50 megapixel and the default camera option. You get up to 10x zoom when you use the AI cam, and the pictures are quite okay. You also get the same 10x zoom when you select the 50 megapixel option as well. The portrait mode is impressive, and you can increase or reduce the bokeh in the camera app. There are also some filters that you can use to improve the general outcome of the images you snap in portrait mode. The super night mode comes in handy in low light situation, even though it takes a bit of time to process after you click the shutter button. Your hands need to be steady while it's processing. Overall, I'm impressed with the pictures of the Tecno Spark 20. This is a video with the front facing camera of the Tecno Spark 20. I'm currently shooting at 2K, and that's the highest resolution that the phone can shoot with. Let me know what you think about the video in the comment section of this video. And the audio you're also listening to is recorded with the phone itself. The Tecno Spark 20 comes with a 5000 mAh battery, and it takes almost 2 hours to charge the phone from 0 to 100 using the 18-watt fast charger it comes with. The battery will last you an entire day of use, and even more if you are a casual user. The battery life of the Tecno Spark 20 is definitely one of the best things about the phone. Rounding up, the Spark 20 is up there with the competition. It is bringing the heat to the Redmi 13C, and there are certain aspects that even make it a better buy. Is it worth upgrading from the Spark 10? They are more of the same and are only separated by the new processor on the Spark 20, and you're also getting an improved selfie experience with the Spark 20. Will I recommend this if someone asks me for a budget phone slightly above 100k? It's a yes. The phone ticks the required boxes on a budget smartphone. That's all from me, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't. I will see you in another video.